Big news, folks. The LA Metro Board has chosen Subway Alternative 5 for the future Sepulveda line. Words cannot describe how excited I am for this project's success because of this crucial decision finally being made after so long. Today, we will talk about the alternative chosen and the implications this project will have on Los Angeles. To show you the importance of this new line, we're going to be riding the bus that currently runs between Expo Sepulveda and Van Nuys. So it'll be a fun adventure to show you how important this line is, and I am here with my very epic group.
What's up, y'all?
Let's do this. As we travel up to Van Nuys, let's take a look at what the Sepulveda line is for those who are unfamiliar with this project. It is a future metro line looking to connect a major gap within LA's transit system between the San Fernando Valley and western Los Angeles. Connecting these two parts of LA is very challenging due to the Santa Monica Mountains. Today, we are riding the only transit link that exists between the two regions, which is the Metro Rapid 761. A semi-fast bus line that runs every 15 to 20 minutes with high-capacity buses between our starting point today, which is the Expo Sepulveda E-Line station, and the Sylmar San Fernando Metrolink station. We will be riding the line as far as the Van Nuys Metrolink station, the full length of the future Sepulveda line. So, you may now be asking, how long will this take? Stay tuned and find out. Back to the background of this project, this line will play a crucial role in reducing traffic congestion for one of LA's most congested highways, which is the 405 freeway. Tons of people travel through the narrow Sepulveda Pass from various cities and suburban neighborhoods north of the pass, down into the job-dense west side. There are no other roads or transit links that travel through this general area, so many people depend on this crucial corridor. However, there is no more room to expand the freeway through the Sepulveda Pass due to the pass being very narrow. The freeway was expanded in 2016 in the hope of increasing road capacity, and it did not fix traffic at all. Back in 2024, I took the Santa Barbara Airbus back home from LAX after studying abroad in London. It took us an hour to go from the airport to the 101 freeway on the other side of the pass. It was terrible, and congestion is only continuing to worsen, with average speeds being as low as 5 miles per hour during busy travel periods. It is becoming more and more unbearable to use the 405, and I really hate using it. Since there is no more room to expand, Metro needs to find other ways to alleviate traffic congestion. This led to the study of a Metro line to take cars off the 405.
No, the 405 is blocking the Getty.
Boo. Metro studied 6 alternatives for potential transit lines. 3 were subway lines and 3 were monorail lines. This sparked a huge debate over whether the line should be a subway or a monorail. Supporters of the monorail argued it would be the cheapest to build and would avoid disrupting neighborhoods such as Sherman Oaks and Bel Air. Supporters of the subway alternatives argued they were faster and more convenient than the monorail alternatives. Metro would release its draft environmental impact statement in 2025, releasing metrics about each alternative such as construction costs, projected ridership, potential environmental impacts, and more. And the metrics for the monorail alternatives were quite something. Alternative 1, the cheapest monorail alternative, ended up being $3.2 billion cheaper than the cheapest subway alternative, which is Alternative 4. However, to do this, it has to completely skip UCLA, a school that has just a few students. Just a few. It would be connected by a shuttle bus, but almost nobody would use it. Alternative 3 does stop at UCLA, but requires convoluted tunneling to avoid pissing off people in Bel Air, which would make it more expensive than the cheapest subway alternative.
Okay, what's the big deal? We'd get a cool monorail for the same price as a subway.
Okay, first and foremost, the monorail metro planned is not the futuristic high-speed maglevs you see in China or Japan that go over 300 miles per hour. Nope, it will be a monorail that uses tires similar to the Disneyland monorail. So the top speed of all monorail alternatives is only 56 miles per hour. Not so impressive now, isn't it? Second, if we look at projected ridership, we see a stark difference. The monorail alternatives have comically low projected ridership versus the subway alternatives. Metrics show that the monorail alternatives were slower, required hilariously longer transfers between other lines, and most stations were right next to the 405, hurting their overall accessibility to nearby homes and destinations.
Gee, that must sure be nice living right next to an off-ramp on the 405. I mean, who wouldn't want to live right next to here?
So basically, Monorail Alternative 3 costs the same as Subway Alternative 4, but is projected to have less ridership. This made building the subway alternatives a no-brainer. And as of January 9th, Metro staff would select Subway Alternative 5 as their locally preferred alternative, meaning the alternative Metro believes best fits the needs of its riders and community. When I got the notification about this, I was completely ecstatic. However, the alternative Metro chose was technically not in the draft environmental impact report. It was a modified version of Alternative 5. So what changed? Well, for starters, the northern section of this line was modified. Instead of running along Sepulveda Boulevard for the beginning stretch of the line, it now runs along Van Nuys Boulevard, similar to the routing for Metro Alternative 6. This was a great call by Metro. Van Nuys has a higher housing density and more opportunities to build new housing compared to Sepulveda because of the 405 being close to it. It will also link with the future East San Fernando Valley Line terminus at the G Line station on Van Nuys, allowing those who live between the Van Nuys Metrolink station and the G Line station to not have to backtrack to the Metrolink station to take the Sepulveda line. So now you may ask, why did Metro not choose Alternative 6? Well, this is because it was held to very different design standards than Alternative 5. Alternative 6 would have been a conventional subway line with longer trains and stations, and lower service frequencies similar to the B and D lines. Alt 5 is planned to be an automated subway with shorter trains but higher service frequencies. Automated trains have a major advantage over manual trains. They are capable of stopping precisely while slowing down from high speeds, allowing them to genuinely run faster than if a driver were operating the train. Secondly, automated trains are able to run at higher frequencies, meaning you will not have to wait long for the next train to arrive. Currently, Metro plans to make the line run every 2.5 minutes. However, this is not the theoretical capacity for this line. With increased demand, this line would run as frequently as every 90 seconds, which would be absolutely insane for American Metro line standards. Third, these precise stops allow for the implementation of platform screen doors, which will improve safety and reliability at stations since people will no longer be able to trespass or throw objects onto the tracks. And the best part, these trains will be driverless, so you can go to the front of the train and look out the front. Take the DLR in London, and you will see what I mean. In addition to these benefits from automated trains, the smaller stations and a handful of other small factors allow for cheaper construction costs, potentially leading to the project being cheaper than the original Alternative 5. With time, we will learn more about costs when the final draft of the Environmental Impact Report is released. The line is now also being built in phases to help make the project easier to finance and potentially get it built more quickly. They also need to relocate the maintenance facility. Instead of it being built at the Van Nuys Metrolink station as originally intended, it will need to be relocated elsewhere. Because of this opens up the opportunity to extend this line further north in the future to further improve transit connections in the San Fernando Valley, and also link up with the Metrolink Antelope Valley line. This would have been very tricky to do with the previous proposal, which would have had the tracks turn eastward. It also means the Van Nuys station can be relocated to foster better connections between both the Metrolink and light rail stations at Van Nuys, which was a major downside to all of the previous alternatives. These changes will ultimately make the Sepulveda line even better than it already is, leading to major long-term benefits that could lead to LA having a major modal shift to public transit.
Dumpster on the road has been spotted. How would you rate our bus experience so far?
9 out of 10. Very good.
Okay, pretty good. Very good rating. Very good rating. It's not only a very scenic journey, it's just very slow.
After navigating numerous busy, congested, and windy roads through the Sepulveda Pass, we make it to the Van Nuys Metrolink station. Let's now talk about why the Sepulveda line is such a big deal for Los Angeles. So how long did this trip take us? It took us 80 minutes, which is a very long time to go from Expo Sepulveda to the Van Nuys Metrolink station. With the new Sepulveda line though, this trip will take approximately 18 minutes, which is absolutely unbelievable and would shave off about an hour off of this trip that we just did. Yep, since Metro picked this modified Alternative 5, you will be able to travel between these two regions super quickly. It will be a lot faster than driving. Alternative 5 is expected to take about 18 minutes to travel between Van Nuys Metrolink and the E line. This is 10 minutes faster than driving on the 405 between the same stations, and this is without traffic. With traffic, the Sepulveda line will be significantly faster than driving, making public transit an actually viable mode of transportation in LA, unlike the current Metro Rapid 761, which only consists of 2% of trips done through the Sepulveda Pass. Because of these faster travel times, the new line will open up countless new fast trips that were not possible before by transit. You may remember from my previous video where I mentioned that most of LA's transit focuses on getting people into downtown LA. However, a large chunk of LA's jobs are not in downtown. The Sepulveda line changes this by building a line that connects the San Fernando Valley to West LA, two highly dense job and residential regions in Los Angeles. Originally, to do this trip, you would have to take the Metro Rapid 761 or take Metrolink into Union Station from Van Nuys and then travel west by taking either the E or D lines. This is significantly slower than driving. The Sepulveda line will allow you to travel between the valley and the west side without having to travel into downtown, greatly speeding up trips. You will also be able to connect to multiple major lines, including the Metrolink Ventura County line, Amtrak Pacific Surfliner, the future East San Fernando Valley line, the G line, the future D line extension, and the E line. The line will also serve UCLA, which will be vastly useful for students who do not own a car and will become the busiest non-transfer station in the entire metro system, seeing up to more than 17,000 daily riders. As mentioned before, having smaller automated trains will help modernize Metro's way of designing future subway lines and bring the system into the future. The line is an opportunity to finally bring world-class transit lines to Los Angeles and help make it one of the top cities in America for public transit. And to top it all off, the opportunities to expand this line are immense. A future second phase is expected to take this line down to various neighborhoods currently not served by the Metro, as well as LAX. Yep, you heard me. You may never have to take the 405 again to get to LAX if you are traveling from the San Fernando Valley. No more getting stuck in traffic for an hour and then getting dropped off at one of the busiest airports on the West Coast. This line will be a game changer for both transit riders and drivers. The first phase alone is expected to see over 123,000 new riders, which would take so many cars off the 405, greatly improving the experience for drivers who continue to use the 405. This project is a win-win for everybody. Except for Fred Rosen, who hates the idea of a train with poor people traveling underneath his house in Bel Air.
What? Oh, no, hell no, bro. What the bro? No, get this out of here, bro. I'm done with this.
Nonetheless, this project will revolutionize transit in Los Angeles. The Sepulveda line will allow for quick and convenient trips between the San Fernando Valley and West LA along one of LA's most congested highways. It will bring modern automated trains that can run faster and more frequently than conventional trains, setting the standard for future subway lines built in LA. And most importantly, this line will unlock countless new trips that would lead to many more people using transit as a viable mode of transportation in the city, taking even more cars off the roads. This project has been a long time coming and has faced many uphill battles, but now everything is starting to pay off. I look forward to using this line when it opens in 2039? What the fuck?